This one! This one is so good and so stressful, but so good. Oh, what do you guys think about Heart of Heaven as a map? Do you like it? Down to the wire. Yeah, this one really was like down to the wire. But FlyQuest, they pulled it off. They pulled it off. A huge part of it was Spark Chief with the Captain America plays. Like, he really did just assemble the team. You love this map? Any particular reason? Most people that I've talked to do not like this map. I think it's the clouds. I think it's the clouds and the fact that a lot of the time it's very hard to be able to spot where people are, plus the amount of angles that they are. There's so many rotations that can be made with flanks. I think if you get past second point, you win 80% of the time. Yeah. It definitely feels like there is more space control on the attacker's side when we head into third, to be able to catch the defenders when they try and rotate. Courtyard especially is very mean. Very, very mean when it comes to continuing your momentum. I feel like it's a very momentum-based map, I will say. Though first is brutal. It is very hard to be able to cap first. We see it capped in overtime, but it can be so incredibly frustrating for attacking teams to have to play because you get like one little bit of point percentage and then immediately you just get buffeted back because of a strange portal recontest. Very pretty and unique. Second point was a bit confusing at first. There's a lot of winding. There is a lot of winding. You've got like different layers of verticality. You've got all of these different runoff positions, hallways, and like small rooms. I wonder if we ever see a bunker. If we ever see like a bunker style meta develop, I think Heart of Heaven in particular is going to be very hard to be able to break through for attacking teams because there's a lot of bunker potential on first and second for a defensive team. Okay, so we get the deviation. Instead of the instant ban on Mantis, we get the instant ban on Jeff on the side of Navi, and Jeff is very, very good on Heart of Heaven. There's a lot of environmental drop-off maps. There's a lot of long angles for the Jeff to be able to contribute healing without actually physically putting himself into danger. As we've talked about, there's a lot of wraparound rotations and flank potentials for the enemy team to be able to make. So having a Jeff be able to speed bubble either for aggressive plays so that you can literally just like jump on them before they're ready to react, or using it more defensively as a means of being able to out-rotate and kite away from any incoming danger can be a very, very strong option. Plus the clouds. On first, it's so frustrating to try and hunt a Jeff player down when he's hiding in those clouds. What are my thoughts on Vision running dry name on Idris path? We can go over that map later. We'll be looking at FlyQuest. So Navi, even though they went for the ban on Jeff, they don't secure it for themselves. They instead go for the secure on Venom, which means that FlyQuest now have to pick. Do you ban the Jeff here, or do you ban the Psylocke? They banned the Jeff, which means that Psylocke is going to be able to make it. So no team gets Jeff. FlyQuest do manage to get their hands on Mantis, which Navi are kind of fine letting through here, right? It does mean that you have that one-sided damage boost, right? In terms of being able to hold control over neutral. You also have sedation to be able to shut down the Venom when he dives in with that huge hit of CC. But Soul Resurgence as a Mantis ultimate is not enough to be able to sustain the incoming damage of something like Dance of the Butterflies. If you run a Mantis, you have to run a triple strategist line a lot of the time. Some teams have tried making Mantis Luna work and mixed results, shall we say, mixed results, which means that if they're running a triple strategist line, they're going to have to rely on running one hypercarry duelist for the entire team to be able to pocket. And that's really, really good for dive, because that means that if you do go for that disruption level, or you go for like a dive hit on the backline, you're going to be guaranteeing the attention of 3 people rather than 2. So you're pulling even more numbers away from the frontline fight. We're going to see the Loki ban in reaction to the Mantis save, because regen domain and the potential damage boost that that brings on this patch is too strong. There's the Psylocke ban because the Venom got through. Invis is going to be banned, which means no Guardian Shield to be able to off-angle protect a Hela or Namor. No Force Physics to be able to push back the Venom. No Invisible Boundary to be able to stave off the damage coming on through from Galactic Legend. And then Luna is going to be saved, which means that Navi now reacts to the Luna save by banning out the Atom, because that is a good triple strategist line. On FlyQuest side, and Vision is a very good Atom player. If you had the Mantis, the Luna, and the Atom, you had the one-sided damage boost. You get Shadow and Light Karma coming on through, which means if you dive the Luna and she starts doing damage to you, she sustains herself better. You have Soul Bond to worry about, which means you have to soft dive for Soul Bond, disengage, stabilize, set up again, hit again, and in that entire time, there's a very high likelihood that that Atom is putting pressure on things like your Venom, recharging his heal snaps while also building Karmic Revival, so that if it is a dive, he is going to go down, he'll get the self-res, and he'll bring everybody back with Karmic Revival. So that's a very good ban coming on through from the side of Navi here. It does mean, however, that in terms of duelists, FlyQuest really do get quite a good choice, because none of them have been targeted. So Navi now get the opportunity to save instead of ban, and they go for the save on the rocket, which means that they get the BRB. They also get Cosmic Yarn Amplifier. However, Cosmic Yarn Amplifier could potentially be destroyed when FlyQuest uses the Lunar Ultimate, and they all just focus the Rocket Ultimate down, because unlike with the Lunar, you can stop the Rocket Ultimate by destroying it entirely. Wasn't Energy a Psylocke player? I mean, for the most part, here he was playing Phoenix. So now, if he goes for that Phoenix, and this is again when Navi kind of did their homework, right? The Invis was a huge way that FlyQuest liked to play Energy on the Phoenix, and we'll see it when we go into map. Okay, FlyQuest are defending first, perfectly. Right, let's see. We want to go this way. Okay, so what FlyQuest's default position would be, every single time they played Heart of Heaven, they played it a fair bit, was they would have Energy on the Phoenix here, and they would have a Guardian Shield, and they would just place the Guardian Shield permanently on the Phoenix's position so that he could put pressure on the rotation coming on through from the attacker side if they decided to go main, or if they tried to hug this side and try and get behind Waterfall. Because this little bit here, this jump to get behind cover from that pillar, opened you up to potentially getting stunned by that Phoenix. And if you stacked your players, then you were all taking so much damage from the Phoenix that Endsong Inferno would generate so incredibly quickly. So it's a good read. It is a good read to deny that Guardian Shield from Energy's position. And it now means as well that Vision on this Namor kind of has to hole up here with Energy, because you know that you're going to be contested. And we can see that Navi knew that they wanted to contest the space, because Rajara is going to be given the ability to fly. Look at this. They knew. This was FlyQuest's default defensive position, and instead of trying to send the squishy player to clear it and potentially trading and having one side burn the rocket BRB, they clear it with the Vanguards instead. And because of that, look at the rotation that the squishies from Navi have been able to make. Like, see her? Star-Lord and Luna, both all the way behind. Which means that FlyQuest now are trapped. If they try and run from the Vanguard players because they're getting low, and they try and run this direction to stabilize inside whoop, this small room here, they go into the damage brought on by the Star-Lord and potentially the free CC from the Luna. If they try and hold their positions here, then they take damage from the Vanguards, but they also take damage from an uncontested Luna and Star-Lord. So we're gonna see Spark Chief go down. Because it's up to the Angela to try and clear those players with the Assassin's Lunge. However, Jerky is able to react with a Soul Drainer, which grabs the Angela. And then Spark Chief dies on the disengage. Does have the rocket BRB, but that now means that Fate gets the BRB advantage because his still hasn't been used. Angela comes back. Jerky is just playing on this low ground position. Because, like, here he's trying to find the elimination onto the Luna. They break the little perch that he's on. So he's now forced to drop on off to the low ground. Tries to find the elimination onto either the Luna or the rocket. This is a really good mag click coming on through from Vez. Because it pushes the hella out of LOS of his Vanguards. And then Vez even uses the bubble here. He's not in that much danger, right? He's not in that much danger. But what he's done is he's been able to isolate the one angle that Jerky is currently playing on. So now, if there was any way of healing the Hela, right, if we get to see like level 1 Crook maybe, he has to go from this direction. He's not going to be able to, if he was playing from this position, he wouldn't be able to get towards that Hela. We see, however, level 1 Crook has been able to survive. Where is Luna? Because he won his duel. He got the rocket pack, because remember, Navi's entire game plan is controlling this high ground. What a phrase. You can tell as well when they decide to make a play for that high ground. Because it's not just the Luna going for it. As Star-Lord comes with too. So, look here. He's waiting. He's hiding around cover. He's putting that little bit of damage through to make Energy have to look at him while level 1 Crook uses that rocket pack. Sets up the freeze. We're gonna see the reload and iframe so that he can close up the distance and keep applying the pressure onto the Phoenix. And boom. Energy is eliminated. High ground control shifts back into Navi's favor. Lovely little bit of team play there coming on through. Does mean, now that your Luna is isolated by Spark Chief, who comes on through with the Assassin's Lunge into a Heavenly Descent. Feeling a little bit more hellish though for level 1 Crook to have to deal with, because the Luna doesn't have any means of healing herself because we already burned our freeze. Yeah, claps on cooldown too. No ice arts, no absolute zero, no way of self-sustaining. Just has to go down. And FlyQuest have been able to hold. No better point picked up on the side of Navi. Not yet, at least. Our backline's playing a little bit more safe. Yet again, we've re-established this position on the high ground. Energy now is going to actually come back on the Hela rather than the Phoenix. So that we have the pick potential. We're gonna get a Luna Idol Aura. We're gonna be able to take a duel against Jerky. Because usually it's not the Helas looking at each other. you usually use the other duelist to create the distraction that the Hela has to turn and look at them. Like, take a Hela Psylocke, right? It's the Psylocke's job to go distract the Hela so that the other Hela gets to hit the shots and doesn't have to worry about the 1v1. Just in the way that Jerky isn't the win condition in this fight. Naga is. And he gets the resources to show that. There's no dance floor for Cooper. There's no invis boundary. There's no Loki. With regen domain, there's no Meteor M from Vez either. It's 4% off. He's able to live too. Drops down. Utilizes the E. Gets the eliminations. Great plays. Just great core mechanics coming on through. Really good tracking as well with the aim. And FlyQuest players, they didn't get the opportunity to swap one of their players to Strange. No one went down early enough for them to be able to justify a Strange swap into Portal recontest. Navi just sweep before FlyQuest pulled the resources to be able to stall out the fight. And look for trades that would have made a Portal play winnable. So, Trust Me is going to use Cap Ultimate and run directly at FlyQuest, forcing them to have to adapt to Captain America's position. Also means that energy now over to the Bucky doesn't get the opportunity to build up Kraken. Cooper isn't in time with Fate of Both Worlds to be able to save this Bucky. However, energy is going to be brought back by the BRB, so that Lunar Ultimate is still going to get value as it allowed FlyQuest to pretty much ignore the Captain America and just move past Trust Me, whose entire job was just distraction, and force them to back away so that your duelists get more opportunity to position themselves for the incoming fight. Then, because we have Lunar Ultimate, we have a 10-second time window to be able to use Vision's Ultimate, the damage boost one-shot potential. Vision is going to use it here. Jerky is going to use Goddess of Death, which should force Bez into using Meteor M. There we go. So all of the Hela's ultimate damage is going to be absorbed by the Magneto. We get Bird. We Bird in time to be able to dodge because... was that Meteor sent the Hela's way? Slow it down. I've watched too much, not watched, I've listened to too much 80s at the moment too, because the moment that I said half of that sentence, my brain just immediately filled in the second half. Okay, it's not sent the Hela's way, it's just sent towards both the Vanguards and the Lunar Ultimate. Then Rajara gets to come through with theirs. We should be able to find a connection potentially, and indeed, there we go. See, was that energy using the rocket boots to try and dodge it? And then Rajara gets the predict, or is that just normal jump? Okay, so yeah, he does use the rocket boots. Unfortunately, Rajara still had the opportunity to turn. Wouldn't have been able to hit Vez because Vez is currently shielding, and the Winter Soldier, who has Kraken Impact Bolt, after your Luna just invested ultimate and you don't have Freedom Charge, is a much juicier target. Which means, yeah, we lose the Bucky. That's a big pick. This was another combo that we started to see happen more frequently. Rocket powering up the Meteor M so that you didn't have to hold the charge. And potentially lose the ultimate when it was broken. Then we get the pick onto the rocket. We get the pick. Yeah, this is basically FlyQuest now knowing that they've lost the fight and having to position everyone to die on the objective to stall out as much distance as possible. The more distance they can stall, the more fights that they can take. Now, Vision is going to go over to the Ultron. Energy is indeed going to go over to the Psylocke that was mentioned in chat before. So let's go to Energy POV. He's got the Ultron drone. He's got the Mantis boost. He currently doesn't have the Lunar Snowflake. That's going on to Vision because Ultron is going to be vulnerable. We're playing into two very high priority Ultron counters, both the Star-Lord and the Hela. Vision, however, is undivable. That's the trade-off. Trust me on the Captain America is not going to be pulling as much focus because Vision on the Ultron does not have to worry about him. So it does give FlyQuest's backline a little bit more breathing room. However, we saw a rise in Star-Lord playtime the last patch because Ultron was in play. And part of that was because when you compare Galactic Legend and Rage of Ultron, and you essentially have the two ultimates both popped at the same time, 9 times out of 10, Galactic Legend is able to find the elimination even through the Ultron ultimate. This was, in the previous patch, a pretty surefire way of being able to take an Ultron out. Which we can see FlyQuest being very cognizant of, and everyone is just playing shields. Everyone is trying to play shields, but because they're having to position around the Star-Lord ultimate, it frees up the rest of Navi's team to be able to do what they want. Because if you're having to shield upwards, you're not getting to shield down. And yeah, poor Vision just has to hide away. Because he's not going to be able to get underneath the shield cover of his team. He's just got to hide from the Star-Lord ultimate with natural terrain. Which means that he's isolated and easily eliminated by Rajara on the Magneto, who's going to be able to hit out shots because our aim accuracy at the moment is 59%. Sparkshift's still able to get out. Zealous also able to apply the Idle Aura onto the Captain America so that he has a little bit more survivability. Energy now gets the ultimate. This is big. Because Navi at the moment don't have a strategist ultimate other than potentially this Captain America to act as an artificial one and try and sustain. But these players are so stacked up at the moment, if you just went in or down to the butterflies, you wouldn't be able to do the damage to be able to bag the eliminations. So you have to soften them up first. Energy's gonna close up the distance, gets the Mantis damage boost, trust me, gets the comfort of the Freedom Charge. And here's the problem. Trust Me uses the Freedom Charge to aggressively go for FlyQuest's backline. He gets slept. He gets damaged by Vision, who turns on the cap. Trust Me then gets the bubble from Rajaro because both of the Vanguards are pushing onto FlyQuest's backline, which means both of the Vanguards are not in position to stack into the bodies for Dance of the Butterfly damages. So level 1 Crook is eliminated. Trust Me realizes, peels back with the Freedom Charge. It isn't in time to help the Luna, however, they managed to deal with the Psylocke because energy out of that ultimate is just vulnerable. Zealous now uses Luna ultimate. FlyQuest respawn is so much closer, so the trades coming in through from the defense is so much more valuable than the attack. And they use that Lunar ultimate to try and invade into the space of the PRB. We get Cooper popping Soul Resurgence. Fate's gonna try and match it with Cosmic Ion Amplifier, which means that they have the ability to punch through that Mantis's ultimate and take out Cooper. Rage of Ultron is now used from Vision, trying to find and force level 1 Crook into using Fate of Both Worlds. Because if you're FlyQuest right now, you're thinking about how you want to take the next fight, and one thing that we talk about, like, that's so important when you know that you've lost a fight is exit trades. Either an elimination onto a high priority target, or an ultimate force. They really wanted that Lunar ultimate. They really wanted it, but they don't manage to get it. Energy is still going to be rolling out on the Psylocke until we swap. What are we swapping to? We swap to Hela. Vision goes over to Namor because we're entering Courtyard. And these angles are perfect for a Hela Namor. Like, look at how long they are. Look at how open they are. This also means as well that you have the means of finding eliminations without relying on your ultimates. So you might be able to find the picks before Navi get to just take the fight on their terms. Because all of a sudden now, Navi's walk-up is slowed. They have to respect the angles that the Hela and Namor control. Spark Chief 2 gets to run Disruption, marking the Captain America. Vez gets to use Meteor M against Galactic Legend. Fate of Both Worlds comes through, level 1 Crook. Uses his ultimate. Gets that little bit of extra survivability off of Fate of Both Worlds armoring to be able to survive up. Holds Navi's position. FlyQuest now are down all of their ultimates. Energy goes down. Jerky uses Goddess of Death because already Meteorum is forced against the Starlet ultimate. Catches the disengagement before they can get him to spawn. Does go down here. Gets the BRB. FlyQuest now have 3 players. One of which is a Hela who can't throw herself onto the objective. Soul Drainer, however, trust me, is able to absorb it instead of letting his Starlord take it, which means that he gets to shield the damage. Freedom Charge is used so that Navi can hold their position aggressively forward into FlyQuest's respawn and block out any potential stabilizing of these spaces to be able to help out the objective. Because Vez is just trying to survive as long as he possibly can. We get Cosmic Yawn Amplifier from both of these rockets. However, look at the positioning that Fate has put his in. It's so far out of line of sight of anyone really on the side of FlyQuest. If they want to be able to take this Cosmic Yawn Amplifier out early, they have to overextend into the space. Which means that we're going to get to see it stay up long enough to damage boost Rajara's ultimate with the Meteor M. Spark Chief comes back on the Angela, just looking for stall potential. Tidal Dirge comes on through because FlyQuest, they're just trying to get any form of damage, any opportunity to spook Navi off of that objective and try and clear the spacing. But it's a full push! It is a full push. Would I say that NA is better at Hela because they play more of a poke meta than dive meta? Yeah, that could be it. That definitely probably impacts it. Like, EMEA has very much been dive orientated. NA only really has one major team that is currently leaning into dive, which is actually gaining a lot of traction in terms of scrims. Because NA teams are having to learn how to play against dive real fast. I will say, in this meta at the moment, dive or bust. Dive or bust. Okay, let's skip forward because now sides are going to be swapped and we get Navi on the defense and FlyQuest on the offense. We're going to go Jerky POV so we can see where exactly this Hela is going to be set on up.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Cooper on the Spider-Man, I would imagine, not going to be staying as a pick currently. Okay, let's play who's got the rocket pack. Let's see. Not Hela. Magneto! Lovely. So Rajara's going to use it here to just get himself up onto high ground so that Navi can control the space. If I had to choose to be a coach or keep casting for Marvel Rivals, what would be it? Casting. Absolutely casting. So, hello, may you ask where my accent is from? So I'm Scottish. I don't sound Scottish, I know, but I'm actually from very far north Scotland. Like once every 200 words or so, something relatively Scottish sounding will slip through, but it's to the point that even other people from Scotland still don't think that I'm from Scotland. It's like a combination. It used to be a lot more like English. I used to very like heavily pronounce my A's like grass. Casting has more aura. So for me, casting combines everything that I adore. Because if you didn't know, when I went to university, the main degrees that I studied were English literature, creative writing, and journalism. And with casting, you're almost doing an analytical essay with a word limit, but you also have to come up and construct like creative ways of saying what you want to say so that it's not just boring and me giving lectures. So it's all of the stuff that I absolutely adore rolled into one, with the added benefit and challenge of having to do it while sharing space with someone else and knowing that I get like 10, 20 seconds, maybe maximum sometimes, to be able to get a point across. Like, I love doing the breakdowns. I love getting to just go full analysis mode. But with full analysis mode, you get the opportunity of like rewinding and seeing all of the context and looking through every single individual POV to be able to construct the entire story as a whole and deepen your understanding of why a play has gone through. It's easier, I would say, to be able to understand or say why something has been done, because I literally get omniscience. To be able to be like, okay, let's look at the context. That play was a little bit That's why when it comes to choosing like my role in esports, I always prefer casting to being on desk, because desk just doesn't carry the same challenge that I enjoy so much as a caster. Did I start casting from Scotland or somewhere else? I started casting from Scotland, actually. So I first began casting in 2019, which was when I was still at university. So I would not recommend this to anyone. It was a very bad and unstable sleep schedule. I would basically be getting up for lectures and seminars at 9 a.m., wrapping university at maybe 5 in the evening, going back to my studio apartment. And at the time, when you like casted, you don't just immediately get to go into paid casting. You had to work your way up from the very, very base level. So I ended up like earning my keep, not even earning my keep, I didn't get paid. I would just ask teams if I could go into scrims and then practice casting in those, record some of them until I had compiled like a little bit of a reel, sent that off to a broadcasting company to see whether or not they liked me and wanted to pick me up, and then I got adopted into that like broadcast house and got to sign up whenever they did any broadcasts or tournaments which went out onto Twitch. But that meant that I would be casting scrims from something like 6 p.m. until 11 p.m, and then I would get maybe 1 hour break, and then I would go and do it on the NA circuit as well. And I would be doing that from like 1 a.m. until 4 a.m., getting 2 hours sleep, getting up and getting ready to go to university. So I climbed. I climbed from absolutely nothing. I had nothing. I had absolutely nothing at the time. I'd also never really played video games because growing up in Scotland, I said it very Scottish there for a moment. Wow, Scotland. Growing up in Scotland, the countryside, the internet connection, it's so unstable. I would maybe have internet connection for all of 15 minutes per day. So I didn't play video games. The only video games that I really played were on the Nintendo Wii, and they were single player and offline. So my first ever experience of like a team-based tactical shooter was when I moved to university, which meant that I literally started learning this stuff in 2019. I started learning it before I started playing it too. How do I have energy when I cast? I don't know. It's really funny because growing up I was very shy and reserved. Like, I preferred reading to talking to people, and sometimes entire days would pass without me really saying any sentence to anyone outside of my family, which is absolutely wild. Now that it is literally my job to talk to people. Do I still live in Scotland? No. I moved about 3.5 years ago to England to be more central because at the time I was having to, if I had lands down in like London, or I was needed in Birmingham or Sheffield for something like Insomnia, then I would literally have to spend like 12 hours on a train. So now I live much more in the central belt of the UK, and I live in Newcastle, which is really, really good because the city has an airport and it has a public transport network where we have a metro, but it's also much, much closer to London because if I have to fly somewhere like China, then I prefer flying directly from Heathrow because it means I only have to catch one plane. I don't have to worry about potentially being delayed between the connection of Newcastle to London and then missing my Chinese stream. Plane rather. Moxie Q&A stream, yeah. When I upload this to YouTube, there's just gonna be a really weird bit where I'm like full match analysis and Q&A. Oh. Okay, any more budding questions that you'll want to know? I could edit this out to be a short. It would be a heck of a long short. Oh wait, you mean the Q&A section? True! I could. When are we getting food? Soon. Soon, Phil. I hope soon. It's really inconvenient to try and get over to where you are if I'm taking the main London network. What rank am I? When I tried to play rank seriously, I got to GM1 and then the stack that I was playing with split, which means I never got the opportunity to play again. Not properly, at least, because playing ranked when you're like an analyst, a caster, and a coach, oh my goodness, the experience. I'm like, this is not optimal. Why is this happening? Why are we doing this? Why aren't we moving forward when I use my strategist ultimates? What's going on? Because I used to funny story actually, I used to stack with the Citadel coach, but we were so incredibly busy that we would literally get all of 2 games a day that we were able to properly play in terms of ranked, because I would be watching scrims, taking notes, watching VODs, taking notes. Or having to set up other things, because I don't just cast Marvel Rivals, I cast other games as well, which meant that I couldn't fall behind in those. So we would like message each other and just be like, hey, you want to grab some ranked games? And we would get like 2 games in, and then one of us would have to be like, okay, we've either got team scrims or we've got to go do prep notes. Moxie low-key a rage yet? No! Okay? You know one of my biggest bragging rights? I'm endorsement level 5 in Overwatch. Do you know how rare it is to be endorsement level 5? If you want to climb, you need mechanical skill more than anything. Yeah, it's like if you get to Diamond, you can either climb from just game sense or mechanics, but then once you get into GM or higher, then you need to have both. I will agree. You absolutely need to have both. I used to have good aim. Used to have really good aim. Then I had to get surgery on my arm, which was a pain and a half, literally. Especially considering the doctors actually screwed it up. Which means that from time to time, my right arm and aiming accuracy just slides off of a cliff. You don't really need mechanical skill if you play melee heroes. True. Now, Phil, you know about this one, remember? Where they gave me stitches and then forgot to take the stitches out. Is my arm okay now? So it's better. Basically, what happened was I had something in my arm which was interfering with the nerve connections in my right hand. And if I played video games, it put more stress on it because, like, obviously if you're pressing keys, right, you're having to use your hands and your fingers much more frequently. So I went and got surgery to have it fixed and to have it removed. And then what ended up happening was they forgot to pull some of the stitches out. So they were like, oh yeah, it will be fine. You don't have to do anything. 2 weeks later, I'm looking at my arm and I'm like, I feel like that's not supposed to be there. So I have to phone the doctors up again and go in again, and it meant that the stitches that they gave unfortunately didn't quite heal the right way. But that's just my bad luck with doctors. Truly, I've had some not fun experiences with doctors where they will just get everything wrong, which has been a pain and a half to have to deal with, but we soldiered through. But it means that, yeah, from time to time, my right arm, especially if I'm playing like really heavily intensive games, will just go, no, this is too sore. Autocorrect is changing English to Spanish for no reason? Huh. That's one that I've never seen happen. The only Spanish that I know is Donde es la biblioteca? Because funnily enough, while I've studied many languages, Spanish has never been one of them. Okay, I think that about wraps break time. Your keyboard is in Spanish though? Oh. Yeah, that gives more context for why it might be doing that. Right. I will give you 1 more minute to be able to ask questions, and then we will move on and continue with a full analysis breakdown as we get ready to look at how exactly Navi have defended. Which means that when stream time hits 2:45, what other languages do I speak? So I don't speak them fluently. I very much did the thing where when you study a language in like high school or at university level, you don't really study it to know it, you just study and memorize enough of it to be able to pass the tests. So I did 6 years of French, 1 year of German, and 1 year of Chinese, simplified Mandarin. Which I actually passed. I aced it. Got like 98% on all of my tests. I was very proud. It was really funny because at the school that I was at, I was the only one who was studying simplified Mandarin, and they basically treated me as like this this very shiny magic trick where they would come into when I was studying and take photos and post photos of me on the school newsletter to be like, hey look, our kids are so smart, they're learning Chinese, woo! So I have 0.1% of Bucky's arm? Yeah! Actually, that's a pretty cool way of thinking it. 6 years of French, I'm being humble. Yeah, well, we had to. In the UK, it's mandatory. At least I don't know if it is in England, but in Scotland, it's mandatory that you learn either French or German, and you have to start learning it from your primary school years. And then you have to go and learn more of it in high school. Yeah, exactly. Phil is correct. It's the British school system. Can I do a Jeff 1v1 with Harry? Oh, absolutely. I would so be down for that. Do you know, I've actually started playing more Jeff because I want all of my strategists to get Lord portraits. I have so many of them done. I'm just missing Rocket, Adam, Ultron, and Jeff. Because I feel guilty when I try and play one of those and we only have another strategist if it's not a triple strategist line. But I've gotten to the point with Jeff where I force like people to solo ult me, and I feel like that's the sign of a good and annoying Jeff player. Can you cast that? Maybe. Okay. That about wraps it. Let's put on the teacher cap again and let's get ready to break these maps down, because so far this is what, the 3rd map of the day that we've done? We've still got like 3 more to go. You guys are getting a big long stream today, and I haven't even started breaking into the candy kittens. This is just Moxie fueled by love of Marvel Rivals.
Hard to say.
That's how much I have the energy.
Suppose we shall find out soon enough.
I just love this game.
Best to not let you down.
The battle starts.
Okay, so Navi are going to be starting everybody off on this high ground.
1.
So FlyQuest aren't really going to easily be able to take it.
I've seen some weird
It's very interesting that they're actually removing the space now. Ah. Okay. So, yes, they break some of the space that they could have. But they also break the ledge that would have been easier access for FlyQuest players when they try and contest this. also means as well that there's less like cover interfering with the line of sight for both the Hela and the Star-Lord to be able to look down and shoot when FlyQuest try and make these rotations. Nice little bit of min-maxing there off of the game's unique mechanic of breakable terrain. Okay, Trust Me is going to go for the hit. At the same time, we can see that Jerky is actually able to find an elimination. Oh, clean. So, FlyQuest are having to rotate. Vision will be brought back by BRB. Where's Vision's POV? Okay, so Vision gets brought back here. Which means he can still try and duel this Hela. He is marking her. We take the 1v1. The Soul Drainer attempts to pull Vision out of cover and into LOS for Jerky to follow up onto. This Hela's still here and getting to put pressure onto the backline too. Because in the meantime, we can see that FlyQuest have actually rotated all the way around the side of Waterfall. They've been able to hide their strategists behind this little bit of cover here, so that they have a nice little bit of protection from any incoming damage. Can still heal up Vez though on that Magneto, and then Sparktooth. How do they force Jerky off of this high ground? Is it pressure from Hela? So he drops because of potential incoming pressure from both FlyQuest strategists. Looks to try and set up the elimination. Pressures out the Magneto. Knows that he's likely going to go down here. Yeah, Sparkshift just runs for him, but they've got the BRB. That's why he wasn't really that worried about his positioning there. Comes through with the Soul Drainer, puts the pressure on the cap. Sparkshift's been able to create the opening though for energy to follow up into with the Star-Lord. Utilizes the teleport, sees too many players stacked, doesn't want to go into the fight, instead goes over to the fight happening on point to help out the numbers and apply pressure on both the Vanguards, but also take the 1v1 duel. Which means that we managed to find the elimination. Because Vision actually comes on through here with the turn. Yeah, so this is all calmed. This is 100% all calmed. Because Vision just hits his shift, places himself out of reach of where that Star-Lord is being forced into, manages to find the elimination, now is on point. Navi's players are trying to stabilize at this point. They don't have the means of being able to directly contest it, which means that the Hela is safe. Because Trust Me and Rogero are going to bounce point off of each other so that they can stall for the Strange Portal to come through. Yep, there's Trust Me. Goes down. Nice little Soul Drainer set up from Vision to be able to find the immediate elimination onto Trust Me so that the Captain doesn't manage to just kite. And the Strange Portal is not in time, because they were able to lock the Captain America down with the Hela CC. Soul Drainer is such an underrated cooldown, in my opinion. It's so strong. Where's Vision going? We're playing the long angle so that we get as much pressure as possible on Navi's walk up to position for second. Soul Drainer so that we get the pressure onto the Captain America, and he's forced to disengage, which now means that the Star-Lord doesn't get to hold his position. If Trust Me was still here, then that would have been much more of an aggressive play against Vision on the Hela, because he could have been looking for the AoE spin to build up the ultimate onto both the Hela and the Luna. But because we already forced the Captain America out, the Star-Lord can't follow through. Now the Star-Lord can. Yeah, we spin. We get as much ult charge as possible. We've got the healing coming through from Cosmic Gun Amplifier. We force Luna ulti. We get the damage amp. We get our spin. We build our ultimate. Meteor Amp is being used on the side of Vez here. Ooh. Block? Let's see it. Meteor. Cap. Mag shield. Mag shield. Oof, that was close. If that had just been a little bit more to the right, that would have caught Crook with the AoE even through the mag shield. Nice little catch there from Rajara. Then energy comes through with ult. Meteor M is there from Rajaro. Connects with the cave wall. Level 1 Crook goes down because of it. Navi have to have Rajaro back off. They have to set up to buy space because they have their Luna, but she's brought back by BRB. Which means we have to use Galactic Legend to force FlyQuest position. Yeah, everyone's just gotta hide from it. It takes all of the momentum from the attacker side. It just straight up drains it away. Like if you look from the overhead POV when that Galactic Legend is used, look at how quickly the space is about to clear. Everyone was on objective and now they're all just hiding. All split off. Vision comes through with Goddess of Death. No more Meteor M's to absorb the damages. Trust me, he's able to kite it out. Doesn't manage to kite away from energy though. Runs directly into the Starlord by running away from that Hela, and FlyQuest are able to contain the momentum and keep moving. What's Navi's play here? Fate's gonna have Cosmic Yawn Amplifier. Jerky Goddess of Death. They can't wait it out too long because FlyQuest will build both Lunar Ultimate and Rocket. So trust me on the cap yet again goes in, plays Disruption, forces Vision to have to turn. Which means that Fate should have a little bit of an easy time surviving because the Hela isn't breathing continuously down this one lane. Because of the Captain America just going in and disrupting her, forcing her to have to look. Trust me, he's gonna be able to survive as well and disengage. This is the moment too, where Spark Chief really stepped up. Because they find Jerky's angle, and then together with energy, they go for this 2-hit duo dive on the Hela to force Goddess of Death. Spark Chief finds the teleporter pad for the Starlord. I believe he also found BRB, but I think it got moved. Yeah, Fate recalls it. So Jerky obviously communicates 2 on him. Fate's gonna recall the BRB before it can get broken so he doesn't get saddled with the longer cooldown. That's him recalling it, so he only has to wait 5 seconds. Now, Jerky is gonna use Goddess of Death. Everyone from FlyQuest is gonna back around the corner. Unfortunately for Jerky, he's gonna drop out of this Hela ultimate still on 7 HP. Which means, yep. Goodbye, Hela. Fate's gonna use Cosmic Yawn Amplifier at the same time as Zealous. Zealous is gonna be able to bring Vision back. Fate wasn't able to establish the BRB in time, having broken it with Spark Chief's position to bring Jerky back. So they are gonna be down 1. Crook gets pressured by Spark Chief. Has to use Fate of both worlds. Both of the Lunar Ultimates are going on through. Vez is going to use their Meteor M now because level 1 Crook used his Lunar Ultimate after Cooper's. It's going to be running out, so you're relying on the Magneto with the Meteor M and the damage amp that's left on Cooper's ultimate to be able to take the Luna out. Good attempt at a block as well, coming on through from Trust Me's side. But because Meteor M was used, we now get Galactic Legend. Spark Chief is going to be able to sustain everyone through with Freedom Charge. Trust Me is going to mirror. We get later Galactic Legend from Energy. Rajara has Meteor M, so this should be absorbed. Great slam from Rajara though. Oh yeah. Just into the clump of players. Good bubble. Really good bubble coming on through from Rajara to defend level 1 Crook. And then the players, they're all going to stack. So something that you want to do against Galactic Legend, especially if you're playing with a Loki and a regen domain, you want to stack into it so that it confuses the target locking and it tries to sort of meter out as much damage onto all of the different bodies rather than just locking onto one person. So here they're taking cover all behind Rajara's shield, but when that shield blocks, if Galactic Legend is still going through, once the shield drops, because they're stacked up, the target locking might have gone for Rajara rather than Fate or potentially level 1 Crook as well. Little way to min-max. And then Jerky now is on the Daredevil, which means that he's going to be able to tell exactly where Spark Chief is coming from.
Right there.
And Captain America might be able to hit quickly, but he does still have to physically rotate, which means that, yeah, we're permanently marking him. We catch the rotation. Spark Chief is able to pop over to a health pack, however. But it does mean that FlyQuest didn't get the grind that they were looking for. We're just perma-marking the cap. This is the entire reason why Jerky's on the Daredevil right now. So much of FlyQuest's game plan on the attack relied on Spark Chief going in, disrupting, pulling attention, and allowing the rest of their team to get something else in a different location. The Daredevil now compromises that game plan entirely. Cosmic Cone Amplifier for Navi to go aggressive. Turns elimination onto Bears, because of FlyQuest they don't have an ultimate to be able to slow this down. If Navi had waited, then it would have been mirror Cosmic Cone Amplifier from both rockets. They go aggressive before FlyQuest have the means of being able to match. That's just perfectly tracking ultimate economy. And taking first turn before your opponent gets the opportunity to match. Vez then gets stall picked. Energy's gonna go over to the Bucky, because if Navi are playing aggressive, Bucky is one of those characters who can punish. It also punishes the Daredevil. Spark Chief is gonna be off the Captain America because he knows he's gonna be perma-marked by the Daredevil. And Navi, they have so much mobility to get in and out of the fights and go like really, really quickly or play slow, that even if they're down one of their players who is just perma on top of the Captain America, they still have the means of taking fights the way that they want it. So we're gonna see Spark Chief on the Groot instead. Which means that we can now try and fortify our position. Like, we can walk, we can use walls, we can look for isolations. We can potentially use Groot Wall as well to deal obstacles to this Daredevil ultimate. Which means that they get to just hold their ground and try and fight into it, especially because we've got the heal tick from Cosmic Cone Amplifier. So no one goes down. Fate of both worlds is used. From level 1 Crook, we get Galactic Legend, forcing Cooper's ultimate and Vez's. The fact that it forced both of them. It's 0.25 up. See if it was literally just a Cooper basically spamming ultimate button. Because that Luna is going to be a big target for Navi to turn and look at. The Luna is going to be coming under so much pressure. 94, 95, Righteous Cross.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, okay, no. Bubble. Bubble's gonna pop. Galactic Legend comes through, we're still 94 HP. He had to go for it because Jerky's damage wouldn't have been absorbed by Meteoram. He did have to go for it. Daredevil is directly in his face. None of that damage would have been blocked by Meteoram. Okay, forgivable. Forgivable that they overlap both Luna and Magneto ulti. Okay, they get to hold their ground. Groot walls mean that Navi don't get the opportunity of getting past and contesting objective, which means that FlyQuest pick up second and get to go into third with around about 2 minutes on the bank. They've got a lot of ultimates though. They've got combos, which means that Navi need to find a way of desyncing them. Like, you can't allow both the Bucky and the Groot to find these optimal ult times. Which means that it is open season on both of them. There's gonna be so much pressure onto energy. You can tell, like, they really are looking for that Bucky. Trust me, he's gonna use Freedom Charge, runs aggressively in. Now that forces Spark Chief into using Strangling Prison to try and counterplay. However, let's play 0.25 speed. Because we also have Meteor M in play. Yeah, so there's Freedom Charge. Navi running aggressively, trying to go past. Yep, no, that do be absorbed. That was another reason why they were okay with using Freedom Charge to start the fight, because they understand that it might force Spark Chief's hand into using ultimate, and that's why Rajara is holding Meteor M for just that moment. Because you either eat the Groot ultimate, or you get to use the CC immunity, even if the Groot ultimate comes on through, to stay above the Groot ultimate, so that when energy finds the slam down, he might apply the culling aura, but any of the follow-up shots could potentially be absorbed by the max Meteor M. And then he's gonna use Meteor M to look almost for where energy's position is. Decides to slam it down instead on both Cooper and Vez's position. Because we're already marking the Bucky. Our Star-Lord's taking that duel. Look at this from 0.25 speed, see if there's any fun mobility to be able to dodge away from the Bucky kit. Iframe because we see the hook charge up. Has the Lunar Idol aura. Nice! That was clean. That was real clean. That's taking advantage of telegraphed animations. Looks like Energy was trying to to catch Rajara at the tail end of the Meteor M collapse there. Yeah, do you see that? That was nice. That was the iframe out of Trooper's fist, which would have earthbound him if he'd connected. That was really clean. Like, he's not taking the fight to win the duel, he's taking the fight to keep Energy's attention. If he can get the elimination, great. If he can prevent Kraken Impact from connecting onto his team, even better. But oh my goodness, Vision. Jeez. Damn. One of the most impactful Goddess of Deaths of all time. Okay, so Navi are gonna change things up now. We're gonna see Hela Namor. We're gonna see Cloak, which means that Fate him might be able to iframe. If they can find the iframe on the connection of Kraken Impact, that could be huge. Trust Me goes in on the Venom, disrupts. Zealous uses Cosmic Unamplifier so FlyQuest can keep up the momentum and push into Navi's positions before the Hela and Namor can establish themselves. Vision takes out Rajaro. Now, if I remember correctly, it's here. Oh, the 1v1. Oh, the 1v1. I've been meaning to look at this 1v1 for so long. This is so good. This is so good. Look at that adjustment. See the aim in 0.25.
I am the goddess.
Yeah, so we stole Drainer, which means that we guarantee one headshot.
This is futile.
We're still taking damage from the monster spawn. We're going so incredibly low that our name goes for Blessing of the Dupe. Then Vision uses Astral Flock to be able to dodge the incoming damage of both the monster spawn while the name of Blessing of the Deep wears off. And also reposition himself behind the Namor bubble so that he can jump out and catch the elimination on the Namor while also getting to utilize this screen in front of him as cover.
Double kill.
So that it's not a trade. Oh, that was so clean. So from the Namor perspective, it looks like this.
Dangerous! Oceans, protect me!
Just the wait a minute, what the hell ago? That might have been my favorite 1v1.
Armed and dangerous!
That straight up might have been my favorite 1v1 play. Okay, we hear Energy's ultimate going off in the distance, so let's see how this one goes. We managed to apply the damage onto Trust Me. We look for the troopers first to make sure that he doesn't get to swing away. Lunar ultimate comes on through. It's been built by Crook. Damage managed to hit onto him. We get the meter arm connection. We get another reset off of the back of it. We managed to find the aura application onto Fate. We get the reset. We find the elimination onto the Hella. I mean, at that point, Jerky's just next in line to throw themselves onto the objective blunder. You just have to conga line. Straight up, you just have to conga line directly onto the objective, try and stall it out for as long as you can. Because then Trust Me's back and tries to come on through the swing, roll out from spawn, but Strange Portal isn't in time, and that's a full push from FlyQuest. Oh, some crazy duelist plays. Some absolutely crazy duelist plays. You really can't tell for some of them, like, that it was their first LAN and that the event had so much pressure. This map in particular, there were so many moments where there was that danger of a player just getting into their own head and just falling off with too much pressure, too much stress. They held it together so well on this map. They really did. Their future is so bright. Okay. Not a lot of time. Not a lot of time for this OT. 1 minute.
Only 60
Which means that
seconds
for FlyQuest, they had to pick up first. Straight up, they had to pick up first. When Navi had 2.5 minutes, you've got to pick up point presence. So it's all about rotating. If you lose someone on your rotation, you're scuppered. You get no opportunity to regroup. You don't get an opportunity to build an ultimate. You've got to be able to rotate safely. Which means that Spark Chief is going to shield. He's already in the back, putting pressure on the Star-Lord, forcing them to have to turn. This means that Vision's going to get a little bit more freedom. Not a lot of freedom, because they still know that the hell is on that position. He's also got the rocket jump pack as well. They really want to give him a play of getting up to this high ground without having to burn his shift button so that he still has it up to be able to disengage. That's the sort of unfair advantage of defensive Hela into offensive Hela. If we go to Jerky POV, right? Because when the round actually begins, he gets the opportunity to position himself up onto this high ground spacing. He's already used his shift button and got the cooldown back. And he's in a really good position. If Vision didn't have that rocket jump pack, he would have to burn his mobility option to get into a position of taking that fight, which means that he wouldn't have it to disengage it. So it's really smart that a lot of these players will actually give their duelists or their vanguards that jump pack so that they can save that cooldown and still have it to match the defensive mirror. I really do like that min-max, and yeah, we can see the dive is just immediate. Trust me, jumps the hella. However, we've still got our shift energy as well. He's here, he's marking this angle on the high ground, he sees the Venom go for his hella. And he makes the choice to come back and peel. So that Vision is able to survive, and then trust me, a little bit of map geography, unfortunately. Gets a little bit stuck! Gets a little bit stuck. And comes undone with the Venom's hitbox just being too large. Great Soul Drainer setup though from Jerky, we'll be able to trade up. We have full capitalization with the Starlord follow-up, but we've got BRB. We've got BRB. Trust me, didn't get BRB. He's gonna be coming back in on the Venom. Let's see where Fate was. Did Spark Chief already break the BRB? Yeah, someone broke it. Probably Sparker. Considering he's just doing everything he can to give the rest of his team space. Where's Fate POV? Is it already broken? Yeah, it's already broken. Okay. Let's go Spark Chief POV from beginning then. Oh, he's real close to that. Sees the teleport pad. Breaks it. Kites to the health pack because he's taking the fight against the Starlord. Oh, Cloud Pots! Sees the BRB! Breaks it, which means that when Trust Me Now goes down, he's not got the opportunity of getting brought back. Chases the Starlord out, sees the strategist line. Oh! See, it's little moments like this. The min-max plays. Right here, he uses the diving strike. And the cap mobility to take health back, which denies it from Fate and level 1 Crook. He could have played aggressive. He absolutely could have played aggressive here. But he thinks better of it. He doesn't even commit the E, he just goes for the base jump onto the health pack, then uses the diving strike onto the strategists. Because he had the health pack, he's able to survive when Rajaro shows up to peel the strategists. Gets a bubble coming on through from Vez. And now, they've chased the Magneto's anchor position on the objective, off of the objective, which means the FlyQuest, if we go overhead POV, now have full point monopoly. So Rajara now has to actually walk past the Vanguards if he wants to be able to shut FlyQuest percentage grab down. And he has to make a choice. He either goes to the objective and prevents FlyQuest picking up control of it, or he stays with his backline and peels when Spark Chief gets aggressive. That health pack still hasn't... Let's see who grabs the health pack this time. Is it Spark Chief again? Is it Spark Chief again? Good freeze. Yeah, Spark Chief just gets both of the strategists because they have no way of peel. Straight up. Everyone's fighting on the objective. You either ignore the Captain America and your backline goes down, but you hold on objective long enough for a strange portal to go through, or you heal yourselves with patty cake against the Captain America and you lose your Vanguard presence on objective and FlyQuest get point before portal can come out. It's such a Sophie's choice. There's no good answer to Captain America in that situation with that play. Navi always lose something no matter which door they decide to open. So, FlyQuest, they did what they needed to do. We picked up first. It's overtime, which means that the defense only needs to win one more fight, but FlyQuest players, that respawn is right there. And BOB can be used in your respawn, which means that Navi don't have an opportunity to break it. So they're always going to be able to cheat one respawn timer, potentially. So Jerky gets vision, because Trust Me goes in and creates the opportunity. Yeah, Fate opens up with Cosmic Gun Amplifier. This is the moment that Navi decide to go. Soul Drainer setup, damage boost, Hello wins the 1v1. Spark Chief comes on through with Freedom Charge, allowing FlyQuest to try and stabilize their position both on the objective, but also peel for his strategists, because they have to worry about Galactic Legend. But where the strategists were positioned is actually outside of the reach of Galactic Legend, because they're in the cave. The overhang blocks the LOS from the Star-Lord ultimate. So Cooper now gets to use his Lunar ultimate. Level 1 Crook at the same time. This should be tipping over to damage boost for Trust Me's ult. Vision dodges it with activation of Goddess of Death. Meteor M absorbs the damage coming in through from Goddess of Death. Vision is burnt out of his ultimate. Rajari's still got the Meteor M. Manages to find Vision as he drops out of his ultimate form. Goddess of Death comes on through from Jerky. Energy trying to use the Galactic Legend, but there's too many bodies in the way. It's only going to be able to find Vanguard's not off of the objective, and Navi will be able to hold.
2, 3.
And now we go into probably the most stressful round for FlyQuest players. Big misplay for Vision for not using his shift flight ability after coming out. You mean when he's stuck in his ultimate, like... Let's roll it forward. Like here?
No escape from hell.
He gets caught in the Soul Drainer. Then skip forward to this one.
I am ready to put on a show. I shall claim my victory.
Wait for Goddess of Death. 6, 5, 4. No, you should have it back. 2, 1. Oh. 1. Oh! Was that what I think it was?
I shall claim my
Did Crook do it again? That looked like a freeze. That looked like he got intercepted by a Luna freeze. We're gonna really have to do this like little bit by little bit. Pause, pause, pause. Level 1 Crook is so good at these. He's right there. That could easily be a freeze. Right. Watch the health bar and see if icicles appear or not. On the portrait. Called it! He gets frozen. I was about to say, that's the pushback. That's the pushback attached to a player getting frozen. This is a calling card of level 1 Crook. So, back when Navi faced off against Virtus Pro, one of my favorite plays that they did, I will always remember this because it was absolutely insane. I'm so sad that the VOD got wiped because the Atlanta codes wrote over the stage 2 region qualifiers. Level 1 Crook was on Luna. Fate was on Jeff. Dridro was on Cloak. And the Cloak uses Eternal Bond, right? Fate goes for the Jeffy. Dridro comes out of Cloak Ultimate, tries to swap into the Dark Teleport iframe, but level 1 Crook as he comes out of CC immunity and becomes vulnerable to it again, catches him with a freeze. Literally the same amount of time is spent. It's so quick that we had to ask production when they actually showed it on the day afterwards, and I did the analysis for it, to slow it down to 0.25 speed, because otherwise you would miss it. And he was able to catch him with the CC of the Lunar Freeze to prevent the cloak iframe for Fate to be able to get the eat with its Jeff at the tail end of the Eternal Bond animation. This is a staple that level 1 Crook is known for. Yeah, he catches them. Because he wasn't immediately able to go for the shift because it was still on 1 second cooldown when he comes out of his ultimate. Whoo! Debunked. Not a misplay. Brilliant play by level 1 Crook. Right. Sometimes those things, they happen in literally a millisecond, and even with 0.25 speed, you have to be like, pause, 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 pause. He's bolt diff. He is bolt diff. There's a reason he was the MVP on mid-season. Oh, okay. Poor Vision. That's fine. FlyQuest win the map. Spoilers if you didn't know. Okay, where are we setting up? Let's see. Vision, not set up on the high ground, does have the rocket pack. Because he is very easily targetable. He's playing around more cover. And Navi don't have a Daredevil, so they don't know where this Heller is going to be. They have to clear it off physically with their Vanguard players yet again. I'm gonna guess that was rocket pack for Rajara. Yep. To jump on up, clear the Star-Lord. They see that there's no Hela, which means how does Jerky adapt his positioning? We go uppies, we go uppies. 1 headshot onto Zealous. Utilizing that little slanted roof to be able to act as natural cover and try and block some of these incoming shots from the low ground. Trust me, he's doing the damned if you do, damned if you don't mentality of applying pressure. He's trying to force these squishies from FlyQuest out of cover and deeper into the line of sight that Jerky currently controls. Like, if you try and hide from the Hela around that rock, you get absolutely melted by the Venom. However, Vez wins it by playing rock, paper, scissors, and he uses rock. Like here, he just casts bubble. Which means that Trust Me has to abandon his post and swing on out. Go back in again once bubble's done. Pressure the Hela. Vision's able to stay alive for so long. Lunar Snowflake, Rocket Heal. Are the Vanguards purposefully taking damage so that Cooper can heal them? No. It's just Rocket. Damn. Oop, Zealous has to use the double dodge. Gets the mag bubble. It's kind of wild, actually, that Zealous is able to live long enough for Cooper to get brought back by BRB. Because, like, here, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to live long enough to make sure that BRB makes it. If he can get out of this fight, great, but he wants one of his strategists to still be in play. And Cooper's just gonna be able to use the Lunar passive and run. Spark Chief gets over to him. Through the waterfall, we get to track Vez's location. They see, hold on a minute, Vez is getting healed. And Rajara blocks it off with the mag. Like, yeah, here he's just shielding the line of sight for Cooper so that the Lunar heal doesn't go through onto the mag. Still, Cooper's done enough. Those Vanguards are up. He's just playing behind waterfall. Oh my goodness. That's a really smart position. Because he knows exactly where his team is. Navi has no clue where the Luna is. Waterfall fully obscures line of sight. You want to see what that looked like from Navi POV? Try and find a Luna, guys. Yeah, they have no way of going for it. Straight up, they have no way of going for it. So they buy the time, Vision gets to come back on the Strange, energy is over to the Phoenix because he's vulnerable on the Hela. Now he has the means, when they dive, of utilizing his shift, of getting into line of sight, of getting his Mac Bubble, of playing on the terrain, getting the Luna heal. Looking for the stun, drop down onto the Venom. Does die because it's not just Venom there, it is full dive. But that full dive is now disrupted. Like, they used so much to be able to find the elimination onto the Phoenix that he's just brought back by BRB. Cooper gets to come in for the Lunar ultimate so that FlyQuest get the opportunity to break Fate's ultimate. That does mean that they don't have Lunar ultimate against Galactic Legend, so we're going to see Sparkshield use Freedom Charge instead. We get full zoning Galactic Legend as well as pick potential Galactic Legends that Navi can try and establish a foothold on the objective. Vision on the Strange. Aura checks Galactic Legend gameplay by just flying up and trying to shield and getting the Maelstrom of Madness connection, which means that Navi still denied any bit of point percentage. Denied this high ground hold too. They have to bully the Strange off of it. Okay, Rajara comes through with Meteor M. Energy goes low, uses Endsong Inferno. We'll be able to hold this position. Rajara gets the damage amp coming on through from level 1's Crook to be able to yeet Meteor M into that back room and take out Zealous, which means no BRB uptime. However, we've got combo! And it do detonate. Slow that down, because it looks like it connected and collided with something mid-air. Oh, hi Fate. Did we take one for the team? Get down, Mr. President. My thoughts exactly, Skittles. I mean, better it just be your rocket when they've got the Meteor M follow-up. You don't want it to hit Crook. I think they still lose the Luna hit of Meteor M. No, they lose Fate instead because level 1 Crook gets bubbled. Wow, Fate really took one for the team. Twice. That's wild. I don't want to go back to energy POV because it looked like he just stood there afterwards. It's be like, what the heck hit my ult? Just like that moment of, huh? Me too, buddy, me too! What a sacrifice! I have Agamotto. Was that blocked? So... could be Rajara's shield moment.
By the eye of Agamotto. Oh.
Yep, shield moment. Oh, and Jerky dodges it as well. We've got us of death. CC immunity! And you've got the Strange low enough that Vision doesn't just get to use shield and fly up in front of Jerky's face and block off all of the incoming damage. Okay, Navi cap! Poor Sparkshield fighting for his life, yeah. Navi cap! FlyQuest, they accept it. They accept it and they set up for this fight, which was one of the most tense and stressful fights I've ever seen go down in Marvel Rivals esports.
We have a winner.
Energy's onto the Bucky. Vision sticking with the Hella because we have pick potential, as well as like the ability with Soul Drainer to just grab someone out from cover. Navi don't have an ultimate either to open up the space and force FlyQuest off of these angles.
Better stop that vehicle.
Vision goes with Spark Chief. Marks the high rotation wrap that Starlord and Venom could have taken. Gets to play the Soul Drainer, forces them into having to take the Brawl fight, which locks them then into the 2 versus 1, which means that they're not there marking the Hella's position. And Vision's able to play off of the space that Vez creates for him by just running forward with the mag, which means that Energy gets the elimination onto Fate. Which is huge, because the Rocket has Cosmic Yawn Amplifier and BRB set up. Vision's elimination then onto level 1 Crook is going to be able to stick. Oh. Oh, hold on a minute. Was that? This happens so rarely. No! It's the crow? Oh no. He walked into the crow. That's a once in a blue moon style of elimination. Oh my goodness. Ooh, yep. 43 HP because of incoming pressure from Energy. We're setting up for the freeze so that we can try and stop FlyQuest momentum, but also get some self-heal, and then it looks like he sort of like goes to the side to try and position it. And also go closer to the rock face so that he can try and obscure some of his hitbox and get a right-hand peek. But that sends him directly into the AoE damage coming through from the crow. And now Navi don't have strategists. Yeah. He 100% does Skittles. I agree. If there is no crow, he hits that snowball and he lives. And now Navi just don't have strategists. Which means, hello, Vision's brawling. Yeah, we Soul Drain set up against the mag. No more mag, no Vanguard larger health pool to stall objectives so that Navi can take advantage of their respawns being right there. Because remember, Fate would have respawned first, which meant that Cosmic Yawn Amplifier and BRB. Great dodge with the Astral Flock away from Feast. It's just about stall. It's about stall with the Venom. It's straight up about stall. He's bought the time. Fate's back. Cosmic Yawn Amplifier comes through. When I saw that, I was like, oh boy, did Navi actually turn this? Jerky moves over to the Wolverine so that he gets the passive to be able to proc and have that extra level of sustainability. Rocket BRB brings back Trust Me. Vision's popping off because he's uncontested. We get Freedom Charge, we get Cosmic Yawn Amplifier, we full send. We straight up full send. Energy gets to come through with Crack and Impact. Everyone is on objective. Their hand is forced and FlyQuest walk away with the win.
Final score 5-2-4.
Oh boy. What an explosive map. What do you mean it was funny? Yeah, I think when FlyQuest hit those ultimates, they knew that they'd won. Like, can you imagine how stressed you would have been knowing that you have to go into overtime? You've got 1 minute to take Heart of Heaven as far as you can, and your opponent's got 2.5? That's wild. Spark Chief was the MVP for me, though. Like, everyone on FlyQuest popped off, but Spark Chief being able to zone Fate and level 1 Crook out as many times as he did, it's not often that we see level 1 Crook with 13 casualties. It is not often that we see him go down that many times. Jerky going down 18 as well, they really marked that hella. They very much marked that hella. And had him fully contained. But again, like, so much of it was because the strategists just didn't get the opportunity to help out their duelists or their vanguards because Spark Chief was just constantly running at them. Honestly, with Hella Namor, you can cap so far if you snowball picks in good positioning. Yeah. It's a very, very good composition to just play neutral. Spark Chief is probably the best off tank in NA. Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree with that one. I think in terms of understanding like dive tempo, Spark is definitely up there. Cause I've heard him calm back when I was like a coach for Nightmare. If one of our Vanguard players was out and we had to get a substitute, Spark would actually come in and sub for a couple of scrims. So I got to literally hear him calm, and we were playing Dive at the time, we were having him play Venom. So I got to hear like all of the comms that he had, all of the setup, and it was insane. Like his understanding of the game and the window that he has to do what needs to be done is so strong. Whew! What a Heart of Heaven.